What is up guys, Andy Forrestine Runner here, and today I'm going to be giving you my full review, final thoughts on the Hoka One Carbon X. So we've done the first impressions, we've done the long run test, we've now done 2 speed workouts, one being an actual workout, and of course the second being the recent Gloucester half marathon. We've got nearly 50 miles in this shoe, just shy of 50 miles. Today I'm going to be going through with you guys my overall thoughts, my collective thoughts across all the tests, putting this thing to bed, giving you my full review, and then of course we can move on and get some more mileage in it with the upcoming races we have later in the year. So if you're excited for today's video guys, make sure you give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and as always, let's dive in. So today, as I said, I want to give you my full thoughts, my full review on the Hoka One Carbon X. We've now done the first impressions, we've done a 15-mile long run, we've done a speed test, we've also done the Gloucester half marathon, setting a new PR in this shoe, a great way to start 2020. We have 50 miles in this thing now, and I feel now is a good time for me to get everything out there for you so you guys can make some informed decisions on this shoe whilst it's still in stock, because I know stock depletes on this thing pretty quickly, and that means I can then put this shoe to bed and get out there running it more and obviously plan some future races in this shoe. So today what I want to do is go through the pros and cons across the tests that I've done. I'm not going to go through any technical details, we've been there, we've done that, we're not going to cover old ground, but there's one thing I want to make very clear before we go forward. I think a grey area that I left a little bit too grey, and someone commented, was I labelled this shoe a racing shoe and maybe what distances it would be suitable for. So let's just clear that up straight away. This shoe is technically a racing shoe that's been released by Hoka One. It is geared more towards marathon and beyond. This shoe was obviously created for the 50-mile world record attempt that Jim Walmsley set back in 2019. So I do have to say that this shoe probably is geared for marathon and above. Hoka do have better, well, I say better, they have lighter options, and options designed like the Carbon Rocket, maybe more for the shorter distances. For the half marathon, for those of you who watched Kofuzi's video at the Houston half marathon, you'll see he ran that in the Carbon Rockets, and of course Jim Walmsley just ran a 62-minute half marathon time in the Carbon Rockets at Houston. So there are lighter options out there, and I think that is the key thing here. There are lighter options. I'm not saying they're better, but they are lighter. This is a UK size 13. It is 304 grams or 10.7 ounces. So it is on the heavier side. I don't notice it. I have lighter shoes. I could use lighter shoes. I prefer this shoe. It is as smooth as butter when I'm running. We'll cover that. But just to make it crystal clear, this isn't a shoe probably designed or geared up for a 5k or a 10k. I've proved that it can work well for a half marathon. I will be using it for more half marathons. I'm not afraid to say it. I love this shoe. But definitely, if you're thinking about buying this shoe, think about your long-term goal with it, what you're planning to use it on. If it's for a marathon, then that's fine. But if you're thinking of looking at getting a 5k, 10k racer, this is probably not the shoe you want. You definitely want probably a lighter and more efficient option. With that out of the way, let's go through the pros and the cons that I found in this shoe. Now, what I'm going to say to you is, out of the 2 tests that I've done, the long run and the speed test, despite setting my new PR of 2 minutes and 51 seconds in the half marathon, I am going to give the win to the long run test. This thing did really, really well in the long run, and for me it just proved the shoe was totally geared up for the marathon and beyond. It felt so comfortable out doing my steady long run. I was hitting 7:20 to 7:30 minute mile pace, and then I clicked up a gear to let this shoe take me as fast as it wanted it to. within reason, without me overexerting myself. The weekend before the half marathon, and I did 6 miles at that pace, which ended up being around 6:20, 6:30 minute mile, and then back up to a steady finish of 7:20s, 7:30s back home, covering 15 miles in total, and it was an absolute dream to run in. The first impressions, it was very firm. After the first run and the second run, it just got to that perfect level of responsiveness and firmness, just like the Rincon did. Just took 1 or 2 runs to break in, and now with 50 miles in this thing, it feels absolutely great. That's not to say it did badly on the speed test. If I could give them a rating, I'd give this an 8 out of 10 on the speed for the Gloucester Half Marathon and a 9 out of 10 on the long run test. And the only reason that I'm going to say that this thing didn't quite get better marks on the speed test was because my toes hurt at the end. At the end of the half marathon, I don't know if it was flying on the downhills because there was 2 loops and there was not a steep downhill, but there was a good little downhill there for us to fly down. The ends of my toes got a little bit sore. Now, that could just be a sizing issue. I'm a 13, this is a 13.5. I'd like to think that it's okay. It was absolutely fine on the long run, which makes me think it was just because I was flying downhill, and maybe the lockdown wasn't quite right. Maybe my foot was sliding in there too. Someone did also comment exactly the same thing that they found on my Gloucester Half Marathon video. Their toes hurt at the end as well. So it's obviously maybe something that is a bit of a common theme, might just be a sizing issue, and that's the only thing I can think of. There were no hot spots, there were no nothing. It was just an absolute dream. And for those of you that did see the Gloucester Half Marathon video, thank you very much for your support. You'll have noticed that there was a group of Vaporflies that I was, Next Percents that I was running with. We had Lee in the Ecodon colour, is that the way you say it? Ecodon colour edition. We had the greens and the pinks. And my word, did they make a noise. When they were hitting the ground, they were slapping the ground and kicking off. Now, this is not, I'm not knocking the Next Percent. I'm desperate to try them, and I will at some point, but this thing was as smooth as butter. It was quiet. I did not make a noise. For those of you that heard the slapping in the video as we were running, those were Lee's shoes, not mine. This thing felt, as I said, smooth as butter on the transition, and that is where this thing gets double brownie points, because when I was running fast, I felt really good. I felt smooth, my legs wanted to turn over, and I do contribute the fact that despite the weight on this shoe, and Lee's shoes were over 100 grams lighter than my shoes. His were under 200 grams, about 170 odd grams or something, and these are obviously 304. So they are considerably lighter. This thing was just as smooth as butter, and it felt so good to run in them. I am about the weight of a shoe, and I do like it, but if a shoe makes me feel good when I'm running in it, then I'm all for the shoe, and this shoe makes me feel good. I'm satisfied that I've paid the price that I have paid for this shoe. I felt like I've paid for a premium product, and I've got a premium product. So in terms of the pros and the cons, as I said, the only con I can find in this shoe at the moment is the weight. I was really hoping they would address that in the second version. Someone did comment and say that someone at some running show over in the States, over the other side of the pond, went to the Hoka stand. I think it was like Jamie Reviews and Believe in the Run, and I can't remember the other channel. They interviewed Hoka about the shoe, and apparently it is a similar midsole and foam outsole. So sadly, we might still have a weight issue in version 2, which does make me question whether I would get version 2 if it's going to be much different. We'll have to see about that at the time. I was really hoping that they might look to try and shed some weight. Clearly, they might not be, but stay tuned. We will see. We will see. That's the only negative I can find on this shoe. Other than that, it's been an absolute delight to run in. I'm delighted to make this video. I feel privileged that I've been able to make the series of videos on this shoe and to put it to bed now and to take it out, book some future races, get running in it some more, put some more miles in the Hoka One Carbon X. So there we go, guys. Those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Of course, make sure you leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear your overall thoughts on the shoes. So many of you chimed in to the previous videos and let me know that you're running it, you love it, you hate it. Let me know in the comments below. If I've missed anything, got any questions, ask. Do not be shy. So that's it for today's video, guys. Make sure you give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and as always, I will see you on the next one. Until then.